Hello, all you beautiful people out there. What is going on? This is your friend Birdie coming at you fast with another Paragon in-depth hero guide. And today we are going to be looking at Kwang Bing Dong Ditch. You thought I was talking about dong like penis, but maybe I was. Anyway, we're going to go over him real quick. So he is a jungler, but he can also solo lane, the lane that's near blue buff. Okay, that's called solo lane because usually there's only one person in that lane, or there should be only one person in that lane. And he's really also good at supporting too, so he's a pretty good all-around hero. I prefer him mostly in lane, but in this game you're going to see some jungling gameplay, which is not too bad. You're going to go ahead and start your upgrades depending on whether you're jungling or laning. If you're jungling, you're going to start with his right click or his Judgment of the Heavens, which is the lightning bolt attack that strikes his body. If you're laning, I like to start with Splitting the Heavens, where he throws his sword and it tethers enemies. I like that first when laning. And then you want to focus the Judgment of the Heavens as you're leveling him up. That is the one you want to focus. Then you want to go with your sword that you throw as your getaway. And then you want to go into lifesteal. And as you upgrade, you want to make sure that you upgrade your lightning bolt first, your lifesteal second, and your sword throw third. Because your sword throw isn't really going to be used for damage. It's just going to be used for the teleportation aspect and the throwing and the tethering aspect of it. Also, again, obviously, that's not including the ult. Always get your ult at 5, 10, and 15. Now, Kwang is a really special fighter. He's really awesome, and he's really good at closing the gap between heroes and especially rangers. You want to focus rangers a lot when you're playing as Kwang, as you are going to see me do when it comes to this gameplay in fights. I'm always going to be focusing rangers. Now, as you're seeing me do right here, I actually threw out my sword into the battlefield and backed. Yes, you can do that, and yes, your sword will stay out there until you either recall it back by hitting an auto attack or teleport to it by using your ult, which is what I'm going to do right here. This is a really good strategy to use if you're laning, to get back to your lane quick, and to deal a lot of damage to minions that might be sieging your tower. So that way, Kwang plays a really good amount of defense as a fighter, comparatively speaking to others. Now here's how you gank as Kwang, especially if you're a jungler. You always want to throw out your sword, and you want to close that gap with your ultimate. Don't forget to use your lightning bolt ability, because that lightning bolt actually strikes the sword itself. So if you tether an enemy, always hit that right click or R1 if you're on PS4, and it's going to deal a nice little bit of burst damage, and it's going to give you bonus armor before getting into the fight, and then you teleport in, dealing a massive amount of damage with your ult, and causing a 2-second slow to everyone around you. Super, super nice. So here we are going to see the final moments of the game. I jumped through a lot of gameplay here to get to this because I wanted to show a bit of a team fight situation. We haven't had too much of a big team fight this entire game, so I just wanted to put out this one to show how to actually use him in a situation sort of like it. And again, you want to be super aggressive with him. You want to try and frontline with him, because the way I build him, if you guys check out my beast build for him, I build him tanky, damagey, and plus his passives such as his lifesteal give him more survivability, and when he shocks himself with that lightning bolt, he gives himself more armor as well, which makes him very easy to not die with him, actually. And also, don't forget to keep fighting because of his lifesteal passive. People try to run away a lot. If you do have good teammate support and you feel like you guys can win the team fight, stay in the team fight as long as possible and keep swinging. You guys saw the clip in the beginning of my Beast Builds video. He can survive a really good amount of time that people don't expect when you keep swinging with his lifesteal. So make sure you do that as well. Again, I'm going to back with my sword out in play, and what I can do in this moment in time, I choose not to, but I can use my right click, use my R1 ability to shock my sword and deal some damage to somebody defending that inhibitor right now, or killing minions under that inhibitor from afar. But I choose not to. I choose to pick up my sword. It comes over here to me, and we're gonna go ahead and run right on through to the end of the game. Now, I'm not sure if the video is stuttering for you guys. It's stuttering for me right now. I don't know what was going on. Maybe there was some editing glitch. I'm sorry. I've been very, very tight pressed with schedule. That's why the videos have been very, very slow. I've had a lot of studying to do. I've had a lot of stuff going on. And I've been streaming a bit more because of the spoopy Halloween event, which is pretty awesome. So that's why this is a bit delayed. But anyway, back to the gameplay. Now I'm going to zone as him. Okay, as a fighter, you're always wanting to zone, especially if you're a tank. If you're a tanky fighter, you want to do the zoning. And my teammates can kill the Orb Prime without any problems here. And I actually catch this Twin Blast out of position, stepping into Murdoch's mine, which gives me a chance to close in on him. He's shooting me. I don't care. I'm going to tank it. And then he does get away from me. I can't throw my sword. He's out of the range, but Murdoch ends up sniping him. So when people try to get away, always throw your sword and try to leave your sword out a little bit more, because the longer you leave your sword out, the longer they are going to be affected by the tether until they reach that maximum time limit that the sword can tether the enemy for. So if you're trying to chase down people, throw out your sword, but don't recall it right away. You know, run up on the enemy, and when you're super close to the enemy in swinging distance already, then recall your sword and continue swinging. That will maximize the distance closed in by Kwang, and that will maximize his DPS in turn. And again, when you're sieging towers, always try to keep poking if you can. Poke under tower. You can also engage with your ult under those circumstances. I just didn't know if my teammates were ready to engage, and they were, as apparent by those ult combos right there. And we end up to go and win the game. So quick recap with Kwang. He's not too different of a fighter, except when it comes to his entirety of his kit. I don't know what I was trying to say there. I was trying to the entirety of his kit. But basically, he is entirely different, okay? I was trying to make a joke, and I fucked it up like always. But he is entirely different, okay? Play around his sword. Not himself, but his sword, okay? When you're fighting, always be using your autos. Use your lightning bolt attack to give yourself more armor and a good burst of DPS. Throw out your sword and teleport to it using your ult. And always try to pick out the rangers in the fight. Use that sword teleport of yours to close the gap in on him, and that sexy lightning bolt ultimate to finish the job. Thank you for watching, and as always, make sure you all have a wonderful day.